Happy Maundy Thursday all. I'm sure that you have been counting down the days till today, partly so that you can enter into the sacred Paschal Triduum, but also, I know, so that you can find out what's been happening in the soup garden this week. Well, it's been quite a quiet week as I've been trying to get ready for Easter, but we have had almost a ton of topsoil delivered, lots of wood chip, a little bit of planting, and also the very exciting addition of the salad turtle. So, without further ado, let's see what's been happening in Garden Diaries, episode 2. As you may have noticed from that introduction, I was standing in the way of the salad turtle and I couldn't be bothered to do a second take. So here is the salad turtle. It's a repurposed sand pit and it's going to have some lamb's lettuce and sorrel and some other little salad leaves that we can use to add a little garnish to some of our meals. Now we're moving on to the camera the wrong way round, but also a potato on the decking, not where potatoes live. Unseen enemy at work again. But these potatoes are completely safe, fortunately, thanks to their great big bin. And you can see at the bottom some little tiny potato shoots coming up. In fact, if I think I'm uncovering one there. So that's quite exciting that they're coming up, which is good. That's an IKEA bag, some dirt in. I'm repotting the squashes because they've got a little bit too big and I apparently planted them in too small pots. So, you know, you live and learn, but they're looking really good and being repotted in their new bigger pots and are starting to get their first true leaves, which is a new concept that I'm learning about. This is our lettuce that's coming up nicely. It's a variegated leaf and you probably can't quite see, but you might be able to just see the little purple splodges on the leaves, which is quite exciting. It's I've forgotten what it's called. It says there, can't read it. Oh well. More little potatoes coming up. These are our first early, so that's good that they seem to be coming up and seem to be safe from unseen enemy. And then over here, we've got our strawberries, which still seem to think it's summer. And in fact, the one that's flowering further down there is supposed to be a late variety, so that's all gone wrong. Here are some herbs which I rescued from another bed, which you'll see in a minute. They're looking a bit sad because I hadn't watered them at this point. And this bed is in my back garden, and this has got some spinach and some chard in. Rainbow spinach, rainbow chard, golden chard, and some spinach, and they're the slightly weird looking seeds because they're cool. Focus has been loving this hot weather. Look, 50 degrees nearly on the top there, and if I open him up you might not see the steam because it's so sunny outside and you can't see this thermometer very well, but he's nearly 60 degrees, which is great because that means he's churning away at making compost. Now we've done a little alteration in the back garden. We've taken down this fence panel, and if we come round the corner past salad turtle shell, abandoned and lost, more IKEA bags of dirt, we come round into what was the nursery garden before the nursery moved out, and this is where I rescued the herbs from, and there's this big bed that we're going to use for some vegetables that don't mind shady things, and there is a toilet roll in there, half a toilet roll, so I'm going to sell that on eBay for like 20 quid. And there was a little mud kitchen that the nursery made, and not knowing what to do with the sage, I put it in the sink, which seems to have worked. Looks a bit weird. Delivery of bark. That's important for focus. And then we also had a huge load of topsoil, which was in the middle of the driveway and I had to move by hand. But I was very pleased with myself and I came up with an ingenious solution involving a ramp. That's what 3 years of a physics degree gets you. And there we are. We have successfully moved dirt. Back inside, squashes all now happily repotted and growing really big. Archie, avocado's got some leaves. That's exciting. He didn't have them before and he's growing really tall. Chives has kind of slowed down a bit, but they're still coming up. But compared from last week, you can see the basil has appeared. Lots of little tiny basil plants, which is good too. Now, you're in the vicar's airing cupboard, and the reason for that is because down here, these are going to be some pepper plants. Oh, now we've arrived at the annex, which is a member of the congregation, her allotment. So they were some squash. This is where she is going to put the squash, which is kind of a homemade greenhouse using the latent heat from the water butts and the glass. More squashes are going to go in here, and some leeks and chard in these lovely covered up areas. And these are carrots and parsnips and beetroot. I don't know which one's which, and I can't remember what they're called. And they're wrapped up with bits of music. That's nice. Catherine's a composer, you see. Yeah, so they are starting to come through and are looking really, really good. Finally, we are back inside my house again, where we have got these little peas. They're called pint pot peas because apparently you can grow them in a pint pot. I have used... That was an alarm going off, sorry. And I've got so far, I'm probably not gonna do it again now. So that was an alarm. Ignore that. These, I didn't have a pint pot, but I did have some tins. And these are going to grow to be about only about 12 inches tall, which is nice. And they can grow on the windowsill. So they were just some leftover seeds, and we will see how they do. That was a very quick and whistle-stop tour. I hope you kept up. And we are really looking forward to next week, when it will be after Easter and I will have a bit more time in the garden, and there should be lots more exciting developments. So stay tuned, and thank you for joining us in Garden Diaries.